So this is my back to school edition. It is also for my college students out there. So shout out to everybody that went to Cal State University of Northridge in the lovely city of Los Angeles. I did go there. I graduated 5 years ago. And I loved college. College was great. I was on my own. I was free. I was free. I was in a whole nother city. I got to do what I wanted to do because I was grown. But I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm going to give you some points on how you can maintain your purity while you are in school. So the first one is to not rush. Do not rush. Take your time. If you decide that you want to date while you're in college, date with purpose. Don't just be dating everybody. Why do you not want to just date everybody? What's the point in that? Like, really? Because when you date, it's to share life with somebody that you have this connection with. To get to know them, to see if it is going to go further, to see if, yes, we are actually going to take this relationship further, actually get married, all of those good things, right? And of course, in order to find out who you're going to spend the rest of your life with, you do have to date. So there's nothing wrong with dating, but just date with the mindset of purpose as opposed to fun. Because a lot of times when you date for fun, it's far from fun. It's messy. So yeah, take your time to know somebody before you guys actually go somewhere, before you see a movie with them, before you go eat dinner or go share a taco, whatever it is. Tacos are amazing, by the way. Yes. Before you do any of that, talk to them on the phone, not just text, like on the phone. Why? Because you want to actually know that this person is going to make time to talk to you on the phone and that you guys are going to have something to talk about and connect with when you are face to face with each other. So yeah, get to know them so that when you do go on a date, you're not so excited and so out of control that you're like, man, I don't want the night to end. And they're like, I don't want it to end either. You should come over. And you're like, okay. And then, that night turns into every night of the week. And then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, what am I living here? What are we doing? So just take your time. Don't rush. Second is to know your boundaries. So I actually, the reason I can give you that example of, I don't want the night to end is because I've had that happen where the person was like, oh man, I don't want the night to end. And I was like, I don't either. They were like, you should come over. And I was like, I should. Oh my gosh. And then I went over to the house, and even though we didn't do anything, we just played video games and literally had, innocent fun that night. For me to not have enough self-control or enough boundaries set up to say, hey, I really enjoyed myself. And even though I don't want the night to end, it does need to. I'm going to go back to my house. You go back to yours. Everybody keeps their clothes on. It works. So yeah, just know your boundaries. Do you kiss on the first date? Are you even kissing? Figure those things out. Don't just go with your emotions. Well, I like them, and I like how they talk, and all this, that, and the third. So yeah, I'm gonna kiss them. Just take it slow. Know your boundaries. Know what you're doing before you do it. Third one is ask questions. Seriously, does this person actually have 3 other girls that they're dating, or are they just dating you? And the reason you ask these questions is so you do not want somebody showing up to your house saying, you're dating mine. And you're like, wait, no, I didn't know. Sorry. I didn't mean it. So yeah, ask questions. Are you guys just dating to date? What are you doing? Get to know them. How are their morals? What do they believe in? And I know some of those questions are like, well, I don't really want to ask those. I just want to date. But if you don't know who you're dating, then what's the point? So get to know them on a different level and make sure that you guys are on the same page. And lastly is pray. I know, right? Kind of cliche. But you pray for protection and you pray for wisdom. And you pray because you don't know what situations do come up in college where you're going to need God's protection or his angels to pull you out of whatever happens. Whether you get yourself in a situation or a situation just comes up and you need help. You need to pray to have that already established and just to make sure that you're always constantly covered. I remember it was my last year of college. I lived out off of campus. I actually lived by myself. Um, and there was this guy who lived in my building. Every time I saw him, he would compliment me, but that was it. So finally, one time, he asked my number, and we had planned to go out. And there was another person who lived in my building. She had lived there years before I did. She was not a college student. She was, she was super grown. So she said, "Girl, do you know who that is?" And I was like, "Yeah, so-and-so. He lives 2 doors from me. Like, we're just going to go hang out. Because, that's what you do. You hang out. You get to know people." And she was like, "Yeah, that's so-and-so." And I was still like, "I don't know who that is." And she was like, "The porn star." And I was like, "Uh, the who?" I was literally about to go out with the porn star and had no idea. Why? Because I didn't take the time to get to know him. I thought I knew him because he lived in my building, and we had small conversations periodically throughout seeing him. So I was like, "Oh, it's so-and-so. He's cool. We cool. He's fine. So, so why not?" But yeah, I'm super glad that she let me know. And I do believe, had I not had this relationship with God and been praying, who knows what would have happened from there. So just make sure that you, honestly, at the end of the day, know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, then don't. Just don't make any decisions until you know what you're doing. That's the way that you do stay pure. And I do have this scripture. So Ecclesiastes 11:9 says, "Young person, if you spend your youth only having fun, if you use your early years just to entertain yourself, if you follow your heart as you live your life and let your eyes be your guide, understand that for all these things, God will bring you to judgment." This is not to scare you or to say, if you go over his house, you going to hell. No. What I'm saying is, or not what I'm saying, what the Bible is saying is, just be careful. Yes, you're young, but set that up for your future. Don't just live by what you see. Don't just live by how you feel. Don't just think, "Oh, I'm young, I'm free, I'm invincible, I can do what I want." Because what you do now is really going to count, and God is going to take that into consideration years from now. It sets you up for your future. And there is this big misconception that college is just this free for all and you can do whatever you want, and just, you have been living life for 18 years. And although there's so many things that you may already know or have established from yourself from the life that you've previously lived, you at the end of the day know right from wrong. So you do want to make sure that you use that, and you don't use the excuse of, "Oh, I'm in college, so I made a mistake," and that right from wrong. So make sure that you're making decisions that are going to help your future and not hinder them. Because who wants that? Who wants to be still in a situation 18 years later because of what they did when they were 20? And a lot of people can say that because of the decisions I made when I was 17 and 18 or whatever in college, it affected my life 10 and 15 years later. Going to the party, getting drunk off your behind, and falling asleep somewhere can really mess you up, because you don't know, A, who's going to try and take you home, or, you're not in your right mind, so you don't know who's going to try and take advantage of you. And it always starts out as fun, but that fun can really mess you up. So just know what you're doing before you do it, and have that in your mind. Like, okay, if you do go out, know, okay, I'm going to go here, I'm only going to stay for an hour. Or I'm only going here because I want to make sure that my friend is okay. And at the end of the day, you have to make sure that your relationship with God is right also. If you're not okay with going out to the party, but because everybody else is going, you want to go, then don't go. Then don't. Just don't do it. If it's the opposite and you are the person who always wants to go out and party, maybe you should pull that back, just because you want to make sure that after this party, life is going to continue to get better for you as opposed to worse based on the decisions you made when you were there. A lot of people do have that story, and I don't want you to have that one. So make sure that you do make good decisions, and I hope that you really did enjoy this video. Have an amazing, prosperous, great school year. Learn, set up your future, because that's really what it's about. And of course, I am praying for you, and I hope that you enjoyed this video.